Good morning. I'm Carrie Nielsen, a member of the Board of Trustees here at Mainland Unitarian Church, and I am so happy to welcome everyone here this morning. Whether you are here in the room or joining us online, whether you have been coming for decades or have joined us for the very first time this morning, you are welcome here. And I hope that all of you will be sure and take a look at the back of your order of service or the website, because there are a lot of cool things coming up in the next month or two here at MLUC. So take a look at those. I've been asked to mention that a phone was found in the basement. It has a blue cover. The ushers have it at the back of the room. So if you lost your phone, that might be where it is. Good time to remind everyone to make sure that your phones are on silent for the worship service and any watches or doodads that you brought along with you. As Unitarian Universalists, we have a lot of different ideas about the divine, but we are united in our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person and the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. And we support this inherent worth and this interdependence by striving to keep love at the center of everything we do. This morning, we are very lucky to have a worship service led by our Director of Learning and Family Ministry, Dawn Star Sarahs-Borchelt, our Congregational Life Coordinator and Ministerial Intern, Yvette McDonald, and our Music Director, David Brown, accompanied today by Jodie Brown, and the incomparable MLUC Choir. As well as our worship associate, Steve Whitt. So now I would ask if you can all join me in reciting the mission of our congregation. Together, we transform lives through love, service, and our welcoming faith.
Morning. All right. For those who don't know, Pablo Neruda is a Chilean-born Nobel Prize-winning poet. The morning is full. The morning is full of storm in the heart of summer. Clouds travel like white handkerchiefs of goodbye, the wind traveling, waving them in its hands, the numberless heart of the wind beating above our loving silence, orchestral and divine, resounding among the trees like a language full of wars and songs. Wind that bears off dead leaves with a quick raid and deflects the pulsing arrows of the birds. Wind that topples her in a wave without spray, a substance without weight, and leaning fires. Her mass of kisses breaks and sinks, assailed in the door of the summer's wind.
We now invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 1020, Woyaya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we will. It will be hard, but we know
I imagine that some of you thought you were coming to water communion this morning. And I just want to tell you that we aren't doing water communion this morning because we're focusing on what home means for us at a special request from our social justice organizers. We are going to offer water communion as a Vespers service next week in the evening, I think on Tuesday. Look for more information. We'd love to see you there. But today we're focusing on home. So I want you to tell me how to draw a house. What should I draw? What does it need? What does a house need? A square?
Needs a roof.
Oh, a roof. Okay, we've got a roof. What else do we need? A refrigerator.
Door.
A door. Okay, so that's going to be... I feel like we're missing something kind of important. Walls. Okay, a square. I feel like a square is a weird way to describe a house, but okay. Okay, so that's the refrigerator, and I guess we'll put the door over here because people did request a door. Okay, anything else? Windows? Details? Yeah, okay, so we're going to put some windows in. What? Detail on the roof.
How about a chimney?
Okay, a chimney and tiles. Can I put solar tiles? Like, this is going to take a long time. Maybe we should have a metal roof with stripes. How about that? Okay, it's a fancy roof. Okay, what else? A comfortable bed. Okay, it's going to be kind of floating here because my drawing skills are severely lacking. But here's a bed with a pillow and a blanket. Okay, what else? Love. People. Okay, yes, I agree. A home should have some people in it. A dog. A dog and a cat. There's a dog. I am a terrible, terrible drawer. But that's okay. Okay, wait, here we need a cat, which is littler and has pointy ears. A what? A garden. Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, we're going to have a garden. A bathroom is a really, really good idea, let me tell you. One time I lived in a place that we didn't have a bathroom. We just had a curtain around the toilet stall, and it was not my favorite thing.
I think you should have a parrot.
Actually, I lived in a place like that twice. Okay, so wait, I got to get a bathroom in here. A vegetable garden on the other side, that's a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to draw like a floor plan bathroom just because. Toilet, sink, and a bathtub. And we need a vegetable garden on the other side. All right. A kitchen is, well, yeah, I mean, we need something other than the refrigerator, right? Okay, so these are going to be like green beans or something, viney. Okay, books. Oh, books are an awesome idea.
Mortgage papers.
Mortgage papers. Okay, here's a bookshelf. Alone. What about the refrigerator?
Food.
Well, okay, yes, food. Here's an apple. Okay, wait, I still need to get the mortgage papers. It says deed. You can't read it from back there, probably. Okay, wait. What? A basement. That is a good idea, especially if we are in tornado area or need to store things. There was something... Washer and dryer. Oh, yes. I love having a washer and dryer. I've also lived without those, and it was not fun. A stove, indoor plumbing. Well, I think the indoor plumbing is implied by the bathroom. But yes, I agree that indoor plumbing is a really, really good plan. Musical instruments. Oh, we should have a fireplace. Okay. Musical instruments. Hold on, I didn't draw the musical instruments yet. We're gonna have a guitar, or something. Maybe this is a mandolin. Something.
Computers.
We need lights. Oh yeah, that's really important. We definitely should have lights.
Electricity.
And electricity, yeah.
Art.
What?
Art.
Art. Here's the power line. And just for completeness, here's the sewer. And we've got art on the walls.
Memories.
Memories. I do not know how to draw memories. So I'm going to cheat and use the word. An address. Ooh, that's a good idea. So we've drawn a lot of things. Some of these things just make it a house, right? And some of them are things, like I was worried people would just tell me how to draw a house, but you told me how to draw a home. You told me a lot of things that are really important parts of having a home. And I think, you know, some of us have lived in only one place in our whole lives. Some of us have lived in lots of different places. I've lived in houses that never felt like a home, even after I'd lived there for a long time. And there are places that feel like home to me, even though I've never actually lived there. I've only been there once a year, or a family home that nobody in my family owns anymore, but I still, if I see that house, I feel like, oh, that's my home. And sometimes people live and have to make homes in places that aren't houses, like people live in their cars, or people live in a tent, or some other safe place to live that isn't actually a house. So I did invite people to bring pictures of home, and I don't know whether anybody did, but if you did, I would like you to bring it up, and we'll find a place to put it so that people can see it. Yeah, now. Go ahead. And it'll be up on the screen so everybody can see a little bit. We can just let me take the markers away because they're going to be in the way. And I've got some tape so we can tape them up there if they're lightweight. Okay.
Can't tape that up, I don't know.
Well, I'll just prop it here. We know there's a flower garden back there. Awesome. Thank you for bringing those. I really appreciate it. I have one more thing to say before our next piece of music, which is that we have another part of the service coming up in a little while that I need readers for. It's like one sentence to one short paragraph. Somebody would bring you a microphone and you would read the part that's highlighted. And I have some readers, but I still need 6 readers. So I'm looking for volunteers. Whoop. Here we go. So what you'll do is you'll pay attention because the whole thing is on there. Are you being forced, Celia? Okay. And when the person before you is talking, you'll stand up so that the microphone can make its way to you. You don't need to rush. It's okay if the microphone isn't there. I'm just going to do Nuala because she's here. You don't need to rush. There's going to be music in the background. So if the microphone isn't to you when the person before you is done reading, don't panic. It's coming. Yvette and the ushers are going to move the microphones around. Thank you very much. Except I left my iPad over here, so now I have to walk all the way across the floor. Okay.
Makes us whole.
For the month of September, our offering outreach partner is called Access Services. Access Services is a great organization. They are a 501c3 organization serving Eastern Pennsylvania since 1976. The mission of Access Services is to empower and serve people in need of specialized supports by providing innovative services that improve their ability to live fulfilling lives in the community. Next week, the 14th, we're going to have a representative, Mark Borse. He's the Director of Community Development for Access Services. He'll be here to give a little talk and be in the coffee room afterwards to answer questions and talk a little bit more about the great work that they're doing in the community. The offering will now be gratefully received. That was beautiful. Candles of Community is our custom each service to share our personal joys and sorrows, expecting to be heard, accepted, and supported. Candles of Community is our ritual of personal sharing and support. After each candle is lit, please join me in saying, "We hold you in our hearts." Reverend John lights a candle of love and gratitude for this amazing church as he continues to recover from his fractured knee. He and Francis have been flooded with get well wishes, food, help around the parsonage, and flowers as well. John is thankful for the amazing staff and leadership here that continues to bind us together. John will be preaching next Sunday from the wheelchair here at the chancel. Blessings to all of you. For Reverend John and his lovely wife Frances, we hold you in our hearts. Nini Ingersoll writes, "I'm filled with joy and relief to share that my brother Warren has recovered from thyroid cancer and treatment, and my cousin Chip rang the bell yesterday after finishing a month of intensive chemo and radiation therapy for throat cancer. For Nini and her family, we hold you in our hearts. We light a candle of sorrow for Andrew Kahn, who let us know that his brother Jeffrey Kahn had passed away. Jeffrey's parents were Victoria and William Kahn, who were founding members of MLUC. For Jeffrey, his brother, and their family, we hold you in our hearts. Lila Weber, hope I'm pronouncing that right, has asked for a candle of joy for the Montgomery County Commissioners who passed a countywide non-discrimination resolution, and with that they will also form a Human Relations Commission that gives all county residents protection from recourse for any discrimination of employment, housing, and accommodations on the basis of race, ethnicity, religion, color, national origin, sex, pregnancy, gender identity, sexual orientation, the whole thing. This is over and above many ordinances that are already on the books that were passed by local municipalities in the county. Chester County and Delaware counties are following suit towards passing their own similar legislation. For Montgomery County Commissioners, we hold you in our hearts. Barbara Elliott requests a candle of concern for her husband Hamilton, who has just been diagnosed with a severe bacterial infection in his right eye and is undergoing treatment at Ysaye Eye Institute as of last Friday. He has been treated for wet macular degeneration since 2017, and his additional infection is concerning. We are hoping the vision loss he has sustained as a result of the infection can be reversed by treatment. For Barbara and Hamilton, we hold you in our hearts. And fresh off the presses, wait, I got one more here. Get it out here. Yes, okay. This comes from Irene Maynard, who announces a candle of joy, welcoming her great-grandson, Louis Roland Torres from Maine, weighing in at 8 pounds, 9 ounces. It's going to be good. Okay. And for all other joys and concerns that's too deep for words, we light a candle. And I also need to read our next section here. Okay. From the Diary of Anne Frank. We're going to light one last candle as I read this passage. Terrible things are happening outside. At any time of night and day, poor helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. They're allowed to take only a knapsack and a little cash with them. And even then, they're robbed of those possessions on the way. Families are torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find their parents have disappeared. Women return from shopping to find their houses sealed, their families gone. This was written January 13th, 1943.
Would you harbor me? Would I harbor you? Would you harbor me? Would I harbor you?
We are in another season of terrible things happening to people. In our country, there are people being dragged out of their homes and families torn apart. Sometimes we hear about these things and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we feel horrified and sometimes we feel numb. This summer, some of the most violent enforcement of immigration law and military control have been aimed at homeless people who are already among the most vulnerable people in our communities. Our homes and the feeling of being at home are incredibly important to us. Not everyone has the security of being able to go home or feel at home where they live. Our social action focus this fall as a congregation is on housing justice. Here are some facts about who is homeless and how it impacts people. There is a microphone coming, Carrie.
In Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, 3,071 homeless people received services at some point during the year, and there were almost 550 children and youth who were unsheltered, living in temporary shelters or in short-term hotels and motels.
In Pennsylvania, over 41,000 homeless people received services at some point during the year, and over 14,000 children and youth were unsheltered, living in temporary shelters or in short-term hotels and motels.
In the U.S., over 1.3 million homeless people received services during the year, including street outreach, emergency shelter, transitional housing, and permanent housing interventions. And over 340,000 children and youth were unsheltered, living in temporary shelters or in short-term hotels, motels.
Housing insecurity isn't the exact same thing as being homeless. Many families are sharing living quarters and could become homeless very quickly if those arrangements fall apart.
At least 20% of homeless people are children and youth. Almost 20% are over 55, with 5.5% over 65.
%32% of homeless people identify as Black/African American, compared to 12% of the general population.
Just over 30% of homeless people identify as Latino, Hispanic, compared to 20% of the general population.
20% of homeless people have a serious mental health condition, compared to 5.5% of the general population, but about a third of these people only became ill after being homeless.
(16 to 26% of the homeless population experience substance use disorder or chronic substance abuse, compared to 16.8% of the general population over age 12. But about a third of these people only became addicted after being homeless.
The median rent for a two-bedroom apartment in Montgomery County is $2,100 a month. There has been a 44% increase in rent prices in the last 7 years.
Over 22% of renters pay more than half their income for rent, which means these people are severely rent burdened.
In the most recent year for which data is available, mid-2023 to mid-2024, there were 8,879 eviction filings, representing about 9% of all rental households. About 75% of these probably result in actual eviction.
None of the policies of our current federal government are likely to reduce the number of those affected by housing insecurity or the severity of the problems unhoused people face. In fact, these policies are likely to make things much worse for many more people.
Would I harbor you? Would you harbor me? Would I harbor you? Would you harbor a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, a heretic, convict or spy? Would you harbor a runaway woman or child, a poet, a prophet, a king? Would you harbor an exile or a refugee, or person living with AIDS? Would you harbor a Tubman, a Garrett, a Truth, a fugitive, or a slave? Would you harbor a Haitian, Korean, or Czech, a lesbian, or a gay?
You might feel called, like I do, to do something about this. We've asked Lloyd Cole to come forward and tell us things that our congregation will be doing that people of all ages can participate in this fall to help support a more just housing system for our local and larger communities.
Good morning. I'm here from MLUC's Housing Justice team, whose current members are Betsy Plume, Bob Batt, Virginia Kirk, Darcia Mobley, and myself. We'd welcome you. In fact, we're here with an invitation for each of you to take part in strengthening our support for housing justice. Building on our long-term relationship with Family Promise, we all can work together to increase our effectiveness on issues of homelessness and housing, starting with Montgomery County this fall. And the process starts today with our reflections on home and the wonderful show, A Home Transforms Lives, from the art group. It'll continue through the fall. Signups will start soon for volunteer projects at Habitat for Humanity's Restore in West Norridon on September 27th, and with TLC for the People here and in Norristown this October. There also will be opportunities for you, your family, and friends to volunteer with a range of organizations helping the homeless across the county, and to advocate for housing justice at the local, state, and federal levels. We'll kick things off next week after the service with a group discussion at 11:30. We hope that you join us then and throughout the fall. Thank you.
Would Would you honor an exile or a refugee, a person living with it? Would you honor a London, a Garrett, a truth, a fugitive, or a slave? Would you honor a Haitian, Korean, or Czech, a lesbian, or a gay?
How do you welcome the stranger? Naomi Shihab Ney's beautiful poem, Red Brocade, is a beautiful illustration of that. The Arabs used to say, when a stranger appears at your door, feed him for 3 days. Before asking who he is, where he comes from, where he's headed, that way, he'll have strength enough to answer. Or, by then, you'll be such good friends, you don't care. Let's go back to that. Rice, pine nuts. Here, take the red brocade pillow. My children will serve water to your horse. No, I was not busy when you came. I was not preparing to be busy. That's the armor everyone put on to pretend they had a purpose in the world. I refuse to be claimed. Your plate is waiting. We will snip fresh mint into your tea.
Living
That was really beautiful and very powerful. Thank you. As we leave today, friends, I want to remind us that the sense of home and welcoming the stranger is as old as time and spans teachings from across the globe dating back to ancient times. From the teachings of Christ, we remember, "For I was a stranger and you welcomed me." May we open our doors and hearts to the spirits of unconditional love. From Islam, we recall the words of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. "Let the believer in Allah and the last day honor his guest." May we greet the stranger with generosity, kindness, and peace. From Buddhism, we draw on the practice of loving kindness. May all things be free from suffering, and may we meet each newcomer as precious teacher and friend. From Hinduism, we remember the ancient teachings. May we recognize the divine spark within every stranger who comes across your path. From Judaism, it says, "You shall love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." May we offer compassion, shelter, and dignity, honoring our shared journey. From the Unitarian Universalist traditions, we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person and have been working towards housing justice, from land reform to the Underground Railroad, sheltering refugees, supporting the Black Lives Unitarian Universalist cooperative housing initiatives. As we move forward in our actions for housing justice for all, let us each commit to welcoming the stranger, offering what we can, our time, our resources, advocacy, or shelter, within our communities to help to make housing justice a reality. Please rise in body and spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, 318, "We Would Be One."